Wake up today. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this final day of August 2022. It's August 31st. 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards, and it is time for our twice monthly segment with A Squared SBDC. We need to have a name for the segment. We've never done that. We need to come up with a name. All right, let's do that. Access Accelerator, Small Business Development Center with us this morning. Very pleased to have back in studio Interim Executive Director Samantha Roll and Family Island Manager Terranique Darrell. That's how you pronounce it, right? Is that I don't want to pronounce it. I'll see. Okay, Terranique Darrell. And joining us on Zoom, we've got Senior Business Advisor for Eleuthera, Anya Ferguson. And from Disney, we have Regional Director of Public Affairs, Joseph Gaskins, using his
government name.
When he was on Guardian Radio regularly, we used to call him Joey, but he's Joseph Gaskins now. Everybody, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Pleasant good morning. Good morning.
Thank you guys very much. I'm still Joey, by the way.
Still Joey? Okay.
I'm still Joey.
Joey, I was about to ask him.
All right, so this is exciting. We're going to be talking about the Eleuthera training program and the Disney partnership this morning. All right, so that's really very exciting stuff there. So let's talk about it, how this came about, what we need to know about this.
Yeah, so Dwight, Access Accelerator prides itself on having strategic partners, all a part of our ecosystem. We think it's important to do that. And of course, one of those strategic partners is Disney Cruise Line. We've been in partnership for almost 3 years now, and throughout that partnership, it's really about the work that they're doing, particularly on the island of Eleuthera, and how we sync or align with making sure that there's impact on the island of Eleuthera. And so doing that, we did a grant program last year. It was phenomenal. Disney went ahead and basically donated about $150,000 towards small business entrepreneurs who were able to either start up or expand in terms of their phase, their business. And so it's been a fantastic relationship with Disney Cruise Line, and we look forward to continuing the relationship moving forward. Right, Joey?
Right, Sam.
All right, so Joey, tell us about that. Why was that important to Disney to do this, and what are the end goals here?
Right. So good morning, everyone, once again. It was important for Disney on a number of fronts. One, we've been talking about economic opportunities for Bahamians before we started construction on this project. In fact, even before we got approval in principle now, almost 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And oftentimes when you see projects like this, developments like this, what you hear is, we're going to provide jobs to Bahamians, right? And jobs are very important. And we have made a commitment around jobs, both through the construction phase, a commitment that we've now almost tripled, as well as during the operations phase. Very, very important. But particularly Disney engaging and interacting with the community in South and Central Eleuthera and around the Bahamas on this project, I think we understood very early on that we also needed to look at entrepreneurial opportunities, that while we build at our new development, we should be preparing small businesses in that community to take advantage of the benefits that will naturally come from the development, but not just for the development, but for the community itself. And I think that's one of the things that we have to make clear. This is not a program where you go through it, you get a grant, and then you come and do business with Disney. No, you can go through it, get a grant, and do something completely outside of the work that we need you to be doing as a development. Oh. It is really about strengthening the economic health of the community in Eleuthera generally, but more specifically in South and Central, right? So we were contemplating this very early on. The other thing is we solidified that commitment in our heads of agreement, which is published online and Bahamians can search for it and read it. We made a commitment to engaging the Small Business Development Center, the Access Accelerator, in writing, in black and white, in our heads of agreement, because we were very serious about that commitment, not just to the government, but again, to the people of Central and South Eleuthera. So this is just a reflection, I think, of our commitment that we contemplated well before approval, and also that we put in black and white of our heads of agreement. And we have enjoyed the partnership with the Access Accelerator. And as Sam says, we're looking forward to doing or to being further engaged in this partnership as time goes on.
All right. So how many people benefited from the grant?
So the grant was last year's program, and there were about 50 individuals. I'm sorry, there were about 30 individuals that were approved.
Okay.
So the grant was up to $5,000. And so we allowed through, and just to kind of spin into this current program, one of the key strategic goals is all about entrepreneurial education, right? So while we can provide access to capital, funding, those types of things, whether it's grant, debt, equity, et cetera, we've found that we also need to ensure that we are helping to enhance the business acumen of our entrepreneurs here. And so one of the key things in liaising with Disney was to make sure that we have the next program that really highlights entrepreneurial education. So this is an entrepreneurial training program, right? And I'll allow Taranik to kind of really get into, the design of the program, the topics and things that'll happen over the course of the several weeks. And I think we had like an overwhelming response to it once we had opened the registration. And of course, at the end of it, we probably have a surprise, whether it's a pitch competition and some funding available to entrepreneurs that went through this, training program over a course of several weeks because of their commitment to it. But the essence is to ensure that while we provide access to funding and a few other things that we do, we want to make sure that we are building up that entrepreneurial acumen capacity around the things that people need to know to be successful. Right, Taranik?
Yes.
Talk right to that mic there for us.
So I kind of want to pass this to Anya Ferguson, our senior business advisor on Eleuthera, but just to kind of briefly overview what the project, what the program was designed to do. So we kind of dove into tailoring the program. We're not in the business of blanket solutions, right? Because that generally is not effective. And so certain family islands have a need for very specific training. So we tiered it. So there's an introductory level where we go from having an email address, right? So, and that sounds simple and it sounds like, oh, everybody has an email address because everybody has a phone. Yeah, but we don't want Randy the baller at Gmail, right? We want to have an email that you could represent yourself to a business or a company and you don't look like, you just pick this up out of a hat, right? So from something simple like that, just staying connected, checking your email. That's a huge problem we have with clients. So when we made the shift into, basically all online or virtual training, it took some getting used to for people to actually check their email. I mean, you say, wow, right? But I have like 120 emails in my inbox right now. And I'm just like, y'all could put a red flag to the ones I really need to read. Right. So we had to kind of, enhance people's ability to stay connected. And then sort of on an intermediate level, we want to make sure that these businesses understand what their business plan means to them. So even though we have a business plan writer program and we assist our clients with writing business plans, we want to make sure that you understand what went into that plan. We want to make sure that you understand that it's not set in stone. You understand that there's going to be a need to pivot into different markets or do different things when the market demands it. So that would be sort of the intermediate level. On an advanced level, we also want to make sure that people understand the financial projections that they're presenting for funding, right? So, I mean, everybody's idea is the next sliced bread. We know that, right? And we know that you can make $1 million next week as soon as you get this money. But when you put this proposal in front of the person who holds the purse, this got to make sense. And you have to understand what that means. So I wrote my own business plan. I did my own projections. So I was intimately involved in the process. Not everybody is at a level where they have the acumen to do that. So we want to make sure that we kind of build from the ground up. We want to make sure you have a stable foundation and you understand how many blocks you need. You need a mason, you need a carpenter, what you need next, you pitching your roof, all your angles, everything, so that when you look at your building in the end, you understand your building. Like you're not just buying this turnkey.
Yeah.
You've built it and you understand it and you can speak to it in front of an audience. And so I don't know if Anya would like to add sort of details or kind of pick out the exciting points of the program.
Tell us some more, Anya, about the uniqueness of Eleuthera and that market there.
You know, I'm happy that you said to tell you more about the uniqueness of Eleuthera. I want us to like basically put it out there that it's not just for Central and South Eleuthera, that this program is open to everyone on the island of Eleuthera, and that's including North Eleuthera as well. I know sometimes North Eleuthera seems kind of left out when it comes to certain programs that's happening in South Eleuthera, Central Eleuthera. So we want everyone to know that this program is for everyone on the island of Eleuthera. And, you know, I've mentioned before many times that when we discuss the future of Eleuthera, we should always note the growth and development that has marked the island over the last 2 decades. There's so much that's been happening. So this program is just perfect right now for the island. And thank you so much, Taranique, for saying just basically everything I probably was about to say. But I'll keep this as short as possible and just kind of explain exactly what the Eleuthera training program is designed to do. So it's designed to basically engage both startup and existing business owners on Eleuthera in comprehensive business and entrepreneurial development. You know, the cost is 16 weeks. We're going to do it for 16 weeks, which sounds very long. I understand that, but it's going to be a fun 16 weeks with different topics every Tuesday and Thursday. So the course begins. We're expecting the course to begin September 6th on Tuesday at 5 to 7 in the evening. The goal was to get at least 20 in-person applicants to sign up. But, you know, we have literally transformed into a world of virtual learning now. And we have a lot of virtual participants that signed up and that were approved. So we have now about, I think, 15 in-person persons. We wanted 20 and then the remaining 40 persons, but that's fine. The participants will be exposed to a myriad of critical concepts from staying engaged to leveraging innovation and technology in an effort to inspire and facilitate both creative and analytical thinking. We have goals, obviously. Access Accelerator's main goal is to drive in the effort to drive communities and, well, I should say the main objective is to connect entrepreneurs, our communities, and our company to drive in the development of a robust and resilient economy. So when we thought about Access Accelerator's main goal, we wanted to put that into the program as best as we could. So the training goals falls under 3 different categories, and that's impact, growth, and readiness. So the impact basically creates a lasting impact to Eleutherans on the island by creating sustainable economic opportunities. That's very important when it comes to Access Accelerator's main objective. Growth, we want the ability of the entrepreneurial sector to provide employment, again, diversify wealth, and like I said, the development of a robust and resilient economy. And then readiness, we want to prepare all of our Eleutheran entrepreneurs to basically be able to partner with not only Disney, because we, like Joey said, we don't want to stress that this is like, you have to get a job with Disney at the end of this program. No, it's not the case. We want everyone to understand that at the end of this particular training course, you can go to any major industry in the Bahamas, on Eleuthera, whatever it is, a hotel, a restaurant, other big businesses. We want them to be able to provide products and services that meet the standard and criteria of that company. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what the Eleuthera training program is and what we aim to accomplish at the end of it.
All right. So tell us about the folks who signed up already at this point. What are they like? Are these all
What
young
sectors are they
people?
from, too?
Yeah. Are they older? What do you see?
Well, the criteria didn't fall in the category of age. So we won't know those particular details until we are introduced to them on, we introduce ourselves on Tuesday. However, pardon?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anya.
It was open.
Yes.
So you okay?
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's open. So, but the thing is, in order to be eligible for this course, you have to be on the island of Eleuthera. You have to have a business on the island of Eleuthera. The business has to be Bahamian owned, and you have to be committed. You have to be committed to the 16 weeks in order to attend.
So me
So
who
we
move over there, I wouldn't. No, that wouldn't not gonna work.
No.
Okay.
No, it wouldn't work.
Next time.
Programs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
All right.
Next time.
All right. So you have to have a
Yeah,
business.
so that's
Well, so having a business is
or it has to be a startup or existing.
yeah, it could be
Okay.
a
Okay.
startup.
Mhm.
So ideation phase,
Right.
which would be under startup, and then existing, which would be potential expansion, or if you are planning to pivot,
Mhm.
and you need to access other markets, you want to export. So we did both. In general, our training programs are not restrictive.
Mhm.
Like Anya said, basically the criteria across programming is Bahamian owned business, Bahamian, not restricted to age, not restricted to gender, obviously. And I don't think we've ever had a training program that was not oversubscribed.
Okay.
No,
In the history of
haven't.
training programs.
That's excellent.
So although we didn't get, like Anya mentioned, we didn't hit the mark as far as in person,
Mhm.
the oversubscription came on the other side. So it came on the virtual side.
Mhm.
And we make adjustments accordingly, because it's funny because I think at one point I was registering my daughter for school and they said the second grade was full. And I was like, the internet is full? Like, I don't understand, like, because everything was virtual.
Uh-huh.
So when there's an oversubscription for virtual learning, of course, we can make an adjustment because it can't be full.
Right.
And so we're still a little oversubscribed at this point, but we wanted to sort of, because we're using this platform this morning, we wanted to give people another opportunity just for today
Okay.
on Eleuthera,
Excellent.
courtesy of your show,
Mhm.
to sign up, and we'd be able to go through those applications as well.
So the deadline is today.
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 One
Alright.
day only final sale.
All right. So
So
where is in person? Sorry, Chester.
No, I was
Is
going to
that
ask because
Yeah.
Disney helped to develop a center there. Is that where it's happening?
Ah,
Right.
where is that
was-
exactly?
That was part of that was part of our partnership with
Okay,
Disney as
right.
well. So almost like a tripartite type of arrangement. So Access Accelerator, Disney Cruise Lines, as well as the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce.
Mhm.
And that's where the hub is.
Right.
And so
Which
we
settlement
have
is that?
Roxanne.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Roxanne. Yes, and so
And the
it's a
impact,
beautiful
sorry.
facility. Go ahead, Anya. Please tell them about
I'm
the.
so sorry. And I was about to say that the training will take place, the in-person training will take place at the hub, at the business hub in Roxanne.
Mhm. Okay.
Which is also is it an incubator as well?
Well, it's a space available for entrepreneurs and
Okay.
business owners. It's, I guess you'd call it more like a shared workspace,
Right.
in
Yeah.
essence.
Okay.
So if you're a
Yeah.
member of the
It is a
chamber,
shared workspace.
you can
Mhm.
use
Yeah.
the spaces there.
Okay.
Okay. Exciting things happening on Eleuthera.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
As always.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, Joy, we want to hear more from you about Disney and the timelines and how things are looking, and a lot more. This is Morning Blend Business. Stay with us. We're talking with A Squared, SBDC. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Growing up as a kid, I always had an interest and passion for animals. Access Accelerator was able to afford us the opportunity to turn a vision into a reality. Not just farm, but create a business. And then Berkshire Bahamas Farms was birthed. So the Berkshire, they're black pigs with upright ears, and they have like white socks on their feet. So we'll have two different types of products. We'll have the full breed Berkshires, and then we'll also have the crossbred. And of course, the Berkshires will have a higher price tag on it. And animals have feelings too. We have a philosophy of happy until harvest. Outside of the pigs for pork, the chickens for eggs, we also have a community aspect where people can come out, do farm tours throughout the week. Schools, they bring the students out, they can learn about where their food comes from. One of the main customers of ours is Flying Fish Gastro Bar. They get our product and they turn it into a meal on their table. So the farm to table aspect works very well. Working with Access Accelerator has been a blessing. After Hurricane Dorian and being in the middle of COVID-19, we were able to had funding for construction to build our pen that we have, purchased a lot of property that we're using. We were able to source a farm truck and tools with the training that we're able to use to better our finances and business plan. So the overall goal for Berkshire Bahamas Farms is to, one, be able to feed our people and to inspire others to understand that let's be able to source our own food.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. We're talking with Samantha Roll, Teranique Darrell, yes, and Annie Ferguson with A Squared SBDC, and Joey Gaskins with Disney. And so tell us about where things stand with Disney right now, Joey. How are things looking? What are the timelines? What are you working on right now? What can we expect over the next few months, next few years?
That's a pretty comprehensive question, Dwight. So I'll talk about where we are right now. We're steady on construction, both on the land and seaside on the property right now. Just about 2 weekends ago or a weekend ago, we hosted the Minister of Works, the Honorable Alfred Sears, on property as well as his team for a Ministry of Works check-in on our progress, to talk permits and have them tour the site. And so we are really excited about the progress of the project. And as permitting continues, again, we've committed to tripling the number, almost tripling the number of construction workers we projected to hire. And so we're excited to continue the hiring process in Eleuthera, and also looking at ways that we can train Eleutherans both on the site and for future job opportunities through our partnerships with organizations like BTVI, which we're very excited about. And so we're seeing quite a bit of progress on the site as it stands. Kind of generally, Disney has been focused on its recruitment of Bahamians. We've seen a fantastic increase of employment on Castaway Key. And obviously, just recently, we've hired a Bahamian HR manager, Leslie Lopez, and 2 environmental managers for the site in Eleuthera as well, 2 Bahamian environmental managers, Bradley Watson and Pachansia Knowles. So lots of progress on the hiring front as well. We're just looking forward to bringing this new destination to our guests. Over the last few weeks, we've been celebrating the arrival of our newest ship, the Disney Wish, where we had Bahamian media on the ship during our christening. The first time, I believe, any cruise line has invited Bahamian media to join them for that. And as we celebrate the Disney Wish, we're also
Esther and I weren't there, by the way. Just want you to know.
I had no part in this.
We had no idea not to include.
That's all Dwight.
But I guess we don't count. But go on, Joey. Sorry.
Chester and I commiserated over it. Your colleagues elsewhere had an opportunity. We did.
How special for you.
We did focus specifically on broadcast. But we were happy to have them on board. And in celebration of the Disney Wish, we've been doing a lot of corporate social responsibility work through an initiative that we have called Wishes Set Sail. So you will have seen our support for junior achievement. We've donated enough for them to restart the program in Abaco after Hurricane Dorian. Okay. We're supporting junior achievement in Eleuthera, and we're actually funding that program across the island, as well as some giving to Nassau. We've also given to the LJM Maritime Academy, and we've helped to sponsor 2 years of summer camps there for high school students to be exposed to opportunities in the maritime industry. I had a great conversation with Minister Colby Davis from the Ministry of Transport yesterday, or day before yesterday, actually, about our efforts to hire more Bahamians into the maritime sector. And as the year proceeds, you'll see more of this giving, more of this engagement in our local port communities, and specifically around youth initiatives coming from Disney. And I'm really excited to be driving that work for our enterprise. So lots of exciting work going on.
I want to ask Joey, what things are going to be available or are available now for entrepreneurs and small businesses to be involved in with this project?
So one of the great things I had the opportunity to do for my first time visiting the site, right? which was when the Minister of Works actually visited the site, was seeing the amount of Bahamians who are contracted or subcontracted to this project. I'm thinking of Janine Bullard, for example, in JSS Consulting, who is, leading the environmental management plan, ensuring that we stick to that, and has also developed this amazing nursery for endangered plants that is up to about 6,000 plants right now, and we're looking to quadruple that in the coming months, right? So there are subcontracting opportunities around this project. There are also all of the potential impact from this project. And so what we are seeing from the construction phase is a multiplier effect in the community. You have 160 something people working on that site right now. You have other developments going on in Eleuthera. Now is a perfect time to think about what services, what venues you can provide for these folks who are working in Eleuthera, building on these new developments, including our own. And so, they got to eat, they've got to shop, they've got to live lives on Eleuthera. And we're seeing businesses have a real benefit from our folks leaving the site and going out into the community and engaging in that work. What we're really looking at is what entrepreneurship opportunities are going to be there when we move to operations as well, right? And so from our perspective, that is port tours and port adventures. How can you help our guests experience Eleuthera beyond the gates of our development, right? And as it stands now, we already work with 40 Bahamian-owned port tours and adventures here in the Bahamas. So we're looking to augment that. And we're looking for any kind of cultural engagement, ecotourism, obviously water sports, right? And we want to ensure that Bahamians on the island have the opportunity to engage our guests in these fun, amazing experiences, to build those out for our guests so that they not only enjoy their Disney experience, but this project is rooted in the culture and history of the Bahamas. And so we want them to go beyond our development to explore the rest of Eleuthera. That's why this program is so important, actually. We're not waiting to get started with our operations to encourage entrepreneurs to get themselves together. We're about 20 months out right now, and we want them to start working now to prepare themselves for the opportunities that will come when we are in operation.
All right, so let's talk some more about that. Taryn, you can add anything in there about what you're seeing. I'm sure people don't want to let people know all the things they're planning on doing there, but what types of opportunities are you seeing, or things that people are interested in bringing to Eleuthera or doing on Eleuthera, and others that you might think are needed there? I mean, Joey gave some good ideas already, thinking of some stuff that would be really beneficial, but what are you hearing, and maybe some things that are surprising right now?
I guess, like Joey mentioned, when Access Accelerator gets on the ground, in the trenches, in the field, however you want to kind of phrase it, our initial step is a needs analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the community, we're talking to people, we're going from Rock Sound to North, we're kind of canvassing, right? So we're listening initially. Initial phases is listening. What do you as a potential business owner want to do, right? And then of course we have, I guess, the opportunity or access to the other side of it. So we have access to information that speaks to market demand, right? So then it becomes a matching demand to the interest or the acumen or what business owners want to engage in. And that's kind of how we begin creating these ecosystems. And so we know, for example, as Joey mentioned, we know that there's an opportunity for experiences for tourists. So then we connect those opportunities with potential business owners or business owners that want to engage in that market. But again, there are always opportunities to sort of add to the ecosystem, because there's a lot of things that people don't necessarily think about. Like, for example, like Joey kind of alluded to, there are people on site working right now. Who's washing their clothes?
Right.
Something simple like that. You know what I mean? So we kind of drill deep into not necessarily only what people want to do, but what's available. And so that we avoid things like market saturation. We fill the gaps as they're presented. And I think that's why tailored training programs are critical, because we have to kind of expose people to things outside of the box. if you insist on living in the box, then you only make money from the people who in the box with you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's a larger demand for services outside of your box. And so those are the things that we kind of focus on when we get into the community. And Anya could speak to specifically what we've been hearing from clients walking into the office. And again, this is why it's kind of critical to have presence on the larger islands that are sort of booming, because it offers our clients an opportunity. For those who don't want to engage initially virtually because they want to talk their business, they want to see your face when they tell you their business, like, you know what I mean? So having an advisor there and having the hub space is critical. So I think Anya could kind of speak to specific industries.
And by the way, Anya, are you out there by yourself? Have A Squared left you alone on Eleuthera?
Yes, they left me alone on the island of Eleuthera.
Oh my goodness.
I'm getting attacked every day.
Oh, virtual team. A virtual team. Okay.
So I must say though, I have the best team ever. Like I can't not call and then they don't have my back, like the minute I need them. But as we speak to the industries, you have so many different types of industries. You wouldn't even believe it sometimes, even down to funeral services. And we absolutely do need them on the island of Eleuthera. So additionally, we have services like traditional spas, and this is actually a traveling spa this person wants. And then you have medical services, you have salons, auto mechanics. Like we have a lot of those. Waste management. We have a lot of commercial fishing. Like you have persons who love the water. Welcome to Eleuthera. Everyone wants to be on the water. Convenience stores, farms, different tours, laundry services. It's a lot. There's a lot of different services. And like Taranique mentioned, you find that now that you have an advisor who's actually here in the office every day, listen, sometimes I have to like close my door just a little bit and be like, you sure they came to me today? Because they're so excited to have someone who's actually there. And honestly, though, realistically speaking, that's what I like the most about being able to transport, to be able to commute every day, because I live in Governor's Harbor and then I drive to Roxtown every day. And I'm okay with it. Yeah, literally, and I'm comfortable with it. And I always tell my clients, like, I come to Roxtown just to see you every day. So it's very nice. This organization is definitely one to be a part of, and I try to get as many entrepreneurs that I know on the island, not even just entrepreneurs, even persons who want to become entrepreneurs, who have ideas in their head and they want to be able to bring it to light. And all this done right there at Access Accelerator on the island of Eleuthera. And I'm happy to even be speaking about it now on the air, because you have a lot of persons on Eleuthera that do not know about Access Accelerator. So I'm inviting you to come to the space, come to the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce on the island of on Eleuthera in Roxtown. We are located in the marketplace. Come in there. We can sit down, we can talk, we can chat. I have a lot of time on my hand when I'm in there, and I'm very, 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 very open to helping. I shouldn't have said that. I meant I have a lot of time on my hands towards my clients.
Oh wow.
You mentioned that you wanted a lot more in-person people, but I mean, could it be that, you know, you got people who are signing up from like Harbor Island and who ain't driving all the way down?
Right. That's the thing. We have a lot of persons, because this is Eleuthera.
But
it's a lot of persons from the north.
Yeah. Oh, there are a lot of people signed up from the north.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
there
awesome.
were a lot of persons signed up from the north.
All right. So Joy, I want to ask you this: the tours. Does Disney have to have a say in that? Or do you? How does that work exactly? Do you have to vet them? What's the process like?
Well, yes.
To a tour company.
Absolutely. I mean, we do vet all of our port tours and tour companies. There are requirements around insurance, for example, maintenance schedules for your equipment. Obviously, as a global corporation, we can carry huge liability as it relates to our guests and what they go out and do when they are with us. And so we want to ensure that they have an enjoyable and safe time, right? But this is not something that our potential port tour operators or experienced operators have to do alone. It's a very engaged process with us to ensure that they understand what is necessary and how we can best get them to a place that makes us both comfortable. One of the things that I think we're gonna, and that small business owners in the Bahamas always bump up against is the insurance liability, for example, what we require. And so we're having multiple conversations around that right now, looking at various models, because what we don't want is to say, here's this great opportunity for you to get your business up to speed through the Access Accelerator or to get your business started, but you can't get over the hump of some of the requirements that we have, right? And we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There are some opportunities for us to look at. One of the partners that we've been having conversations with, for example, is the Tourism Development Corporation, which has been newly relaunched by the Ministry of Tourism and is quite a focus for the Deputy Prime Minister. How can we engage these port tour experience operators to ensure that they, one, fully understand what the requirements are, and then two, are there ways, systems, structures, frameworks that we can slot them into or engage them with that helps them overcome some of these obstacles? So the short answer is yes, we do vet every one of our port tour operators. They go through training. They are required to carry insurance. We do look at their operations to ensure that our guests have a safe and enjoyable time, but they don't have to do that alone. We work with them very closely, and we are also looking to the future. How can we make this easier for Bahamian businesses to engage with us, and drawing in partners to ensure we can work out a solution for some of the common obstacles that they bump into.
Okay. All right. So today, final day to sign up for the training in Eleuthera. Again, what do people need to do if they are interested and want to be a part of this?
accessaccelerator.org. I think it's under
programs.
Yeah. So there's an application form when you find Eleuthera Entrepreneurial Readiness Program. You're going to click that. You're going to fill out the application. Please click submit. And then we'll be able to review the application within the next 24 hours, because we do have a start date for September 6th. I'm going to make sure that everybody's ready, getting their approval letters and being prepared to either show up in person or online. So we need at least a few days in between this process and opening the program.
Okay. All right.
Can be denied.
First come, first served.
Yeah. Hurry.
All right. So that's a lot going on. But even with all that, there's a whole lot more going with A Squared SBDC, including what we've been talking about for the past few weeks, the SET program. Tell us what SET stands for again, and remind us about, I think, one more month of this, right?
Yes. So it's the Summer Entrepreneurial Training Program. Set yourself up for success.
Right.
Yes, Taryn should know that.
Yes, she told us. She told us that. She always says it every time she's here, and she's very creative. Okay, so we would have previously shared that, again, it's about training, entrepreneurial training and education. So honing in on that focus. And what we've done as a great team that I have between Teranique and some of the members of the funding team, Felice and Kenron, who is the brainchild of the whole program. We've set it up where over several weeks, there are training sessions, and the training sessions are actually facilitated by business owners, right? So they get to highlight their successes, but also their failures throughout their journey. And that's amazing, because I think what is also very important is, we don't want to focus on the theory of doing business, starting a business, but we want to understand the practical sense of it and connecting the both theory and practical. Right. And so we have such a wonderful series of sessions. But even within those series of sessions throughout, we've been doing pitch competitions, and boy, have they been hot. So we started with our innovative pitch competition. And then we went into our second pitch, which was last night, and that was the global pitch competition. And, we can't, again, I mentioned earlier, we are doing all of this through partnerships, through strategic partnerships. And so a number of our sponsors, we just want to make sure that we thank them for seeing the vision and assisting us, not only
financially, but in kind as well. So we have a number of our sponsors, such as J.S. Johnson, who sponsored the first pitch competition, the Innovative. Simplified Lending actually sponsored our competition last night, which was the Global. And our title sponsor is Fidelity Bank. And that pitch competition is coming up on September 27th. And so we're very excited, because I'll talk a little bit about that more in a minute, but I wanted to highlight, last night was phenomenal. If we thought the first competitors at the pitch competition for Innovative was amazing, the second set was just as competitive, very hard to select a winner. And again, between the first and second place was only by 1 point.
Whoa.
Right? So that was amazing. And so our actual pitch winner was Kendrick Delaney of Fairy Tales. And so it's a child's book based around the swimming pigs excursion in the Bahamas. And so Simplified Lending went ahead and gave $7,500, $7,500 towards that winner. Second place, we had Mother Freeze that pitched in terms of an expansion. And so it was just, Dwight, it was a great night last night. Our third pitch competition on sustainability, as I said, is scheduled for September 27th. That is going to be a blowout. We've gotten in-kind sponsorship from John Watlin's, so it will be hosted at John Watlin's. And like I indicated before, Fidelity Bank is our title sponsor, and so they've sponsored for that prize to be $10,000.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So the pitch winner of that would be receiving $10,000.
Yeah. So what are you looking for that one? Sustainability in terms of what exactly?
Yeah, so we look at it in two, I guess from two perspectives or two lenses. One, we're talking about sustainability, right? How do we, whether it's from, let's say, coral reef, how do we sustain our environment? How do we protect what it is that we have? And then we look at it from a second concept in terms of the longevity of your business, right? A number of questions or a number of judges asked the same question around, if you were no longer here, would your business continue on? And I think we tend to see that, with some of our longstanding businesses here. How do you incorporate sustainability to make sure that that business continues on even beyond you? And so it's going to be an exciting night. We have some things planned, but then, we have some surprises as well.
That sounds very exciting. All right.
And
So
is that one for the startups, new businesses? How is that
Both.
same?
Yeah, it's open to startups and new startups as well as existing businesses to pitch.
I'm a little curious about the winner with the global pitch. You said it's a children's book?
Yes. So what he pitched is that he's actually, and it's currently in business now, right? And what he does is he does a focus around the swimming pigs, and it's a book that's focused on that, and it's being sold. Basically, I think his primary market is the US market at the moment. He does have the books currently in our local stores, but it's doing well.
Okay. That's really interesting. All right. So one more month of the series, and what else is happening? You were always busy, and you're approaching the end of the year. Always a lot of exciting things happening. What else can we expect?
Well, we have a few other things going on. We've been doing our digital skills training. We currently have that running for the month of September 5th, and I think to the end of the month. And again, that's a series of training. I think this month is focused on data analytics. Thank you. Data analytics. Last month, we focused on communication, so we're doing a series of training. It's again, open to the public. You just go to our website under programs and you can find the various programs that we have running.
Okay.
And so it's we have a few things just on course and we're excited about it. And we're just getting started. There are a few other things that I can't wait to come back and share with you. What we'll also do is find some way to bring on our pitch winners. Yes, I think it's important to highlight their stories.
The last pitch winner.
Yes.
So we'll meet hopefully the global pitch and the sustainability pitch winners soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And we talk to the runners up people often, apparently. but inside jokes.
Yeah.
Inside joke. But
I just
all right. Samantha Roll, Veronique, Darrow. I see now I have to think about it every time. And it's gonna be like this. I have to pause before I say it every time. Annie Ferguson and Eleuthera, thank you so much. And Joseph Gaskins. It's been a pleasure talking with all of you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to talking with you in a few weeks.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm Chester
Thank you.
Omar. Always a pleasure. I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend Business and Morning Blend right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.